Right now at 10, a Girard man is in custody after allegedly kidnapping a child and leading Crawford County deputies on a chase. Plus, the victim in yesterday's train accident in Asbury has been identified. Also, after 25 years, the Levi Englert basketball tournament is coming to an end. We'll reflect on the past 25 years and how funds from the tournament have impacted area youth. And we're going to head down south to Neosho for ArtCon.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
A Girard man is in custody after allegedly kidnapping a child and fleeing from police. Officials with the Girard Police Department say they received a report of a domestic incident in progress just after noon yesterday. A woman reported that 29-year-old Bryce Bethel was at her home trying to take their child. Police say there was a protection order against Bethel, barring him from coming to the home or having the child. Before officers arrived, Bethel took the woman's car, which was later located by a Crawford County deputy. Bethel fled and then called 911 as he was fleeing. The deputy saying he'd returned the child, but officials say he didn't. The deputy was able to stop the car. Bethel was then taken into custody and charged with kidnapping, violation of a protection order, theft, and additional charges related to fleeing from the Crawford County deputy. Child was unharmed and returned to its mother. An update to a breaking story we first brought you last night. The Missouri State Highway Patrol has released the name of the woman killed in the train accident in Asbury. Officials identified the woman as 70-year-old Kathy Wendell of Columbus. Last night, the Missouri Highway Patrol says a car got stuck in a snowdrift over the tracks at Oak Street. Wendell stayed in the car while others pushed, but when she saw the train coming, she got out of the car. But she didn't get far enough away in time. The train hit the car, and then the car hit Wendell. We saw the sun today, and the sun made a difference in some of that snow already. Nick Kelly joining us.
Not only that, Chris, but the warmer temperature, something we've been clamoring for ever since we got our last winter storm out of here after it gave us a decent blow earlier this week. But the numbers, certainly a nice rebound after a cold start at 13, back above freezing, not near our normal high of 47, but at least 41 degrees. That's a tremendous help in addition to the sun that continued to melt the snow throughout the entire region as we went throughout the day. Clear skies here for now. A weak's frontal boundary to the north. I say weak. It's not going to really come at us as we go throughout the day tomorrow, all because of high pressure near Jackson, Mississippi. That's what's going to keep us quiet for tomorrow, and that southerly wind in place. So far, that south breeze keeping us in the lower to middle 30s all across the board. But I do anticipate that even with some patchy areas of fog just because of snow still on the ground, that doesn't stop us from dropping back into the 20s. I think in most spots around 24, but we'll go 30 by 9, 36 by noon, back near 40. So the melt continues for tomorrow, Chris, and I think we can say safely say that for much of this week. We'll break down the numbers here in a bit.
Looking forward to it, Nick. Thank you. For 25 years, the family of Levi Englert, alongside the Boys and Girls Club of Southwest Missouri, has hosted a basketball tournament in his honor after he tragically passed away in 1995. After all these years, his family says it's time to move on. KOAM's Bronte Sorotsky tells us how the tournament has impacted the community through the years.
For 25 years, the Englert family has worked to memorialize the life of 15-year-old Levi Englert, who tragically passed away in a car accident in 1995. He loved all things sports, especially basketball, and wanted to play professionally one day.
He was actually playing for the junior high. He's in the 9th grade. He was playing school ball, and we played here every year.
As a way for something greater to come from their son's death, the Englerts created the Levi Englert basketball tournament, which on Saturday celebrated 25 years and its last.
I just feel like 25 years is enough. You know, it's kind of hard on the family. It's kind of stressful, and it's I don't want to get in a situation where we're abusing the loss of our child for something like this. I mean, it's time to move on.
The memorial tournament brings in players from all over the 4 states every year.
Travel teams come from all over. Parsons, deep in Kansas, Oklahoma, Arkansas to come play in this tournament.
Throughout the past 25 years, the tournament has raised funds to build the very gym where its last game will be held.
This tournament has meant so much and actually brought so much in. So the tournament supported the building of this gym. It produced board members, it produced funding every year for the club, which was greatly needed and still is.
It also plays a key role in the operations of the Boys and Girls Club of Southwest Missouri, which serves over 1,500 kids per year.
This is one of 3 major fundraisers that we do here at the Boys and Girls Club, and without these funds, it'd make it very difficult to do our day-in-day operations. Fundraising gets to go right into that budget and help us just with staffing and lights and, just to run the operations.
For Levi's father, watching kids he used to coach continue his son's memory by competing in his favorite sport.
It's really fun because I grew up coaching a lot of these guys on my kids' teams and stuff, and then now we're into their kids are coaches. The kids I coached are playing, and some of them's even coaching now, and grandkids are playing. So it's just it's fun to see the full circle.
In Joplin, Bronte Sorotsky, KOAM News.
Although the family has decided to end the tournament after 25 years, the Boys and Girls Club plans to replace it with another event. Well, today marks the 3rd year the Neosho Arts Council has held their ArtCon event. Now, ArtCon features aspects of art that might be more inclined to those who are the creative types. This year included authors, different aspects of gaming, vendors with comic books, toys, illustrators, and cosplay, which is, dressing up for those who might be into acting. The Neosho Arts Council says it's one of the many events they sponsor through the year, showing numerous aspects of art to reach the entire community.
We do something like this. We do the concerts in the park. We do classes. So it's a great variety of things, trying to find the right fit with the different people who are out there who have an interest in art.
Organizers say 2023 could be even bigger than this year, and because of that, they've already started planning for next year's event. Residents in Carthage were treated to some unique visitors in the city. It's the furry kind that everyone likes. There were some alpacas that visited Going Places Dolls, Fabric and Things just off of Maple Street.
Okay, so when we were going to craft shows, our craft booths was called Linda Handmade, and my logo is a llama, and so I don't know, llamas are just my favorite animals, and after we went to their farm and saw them, I just knew that I wanted them to come here.
The alpacas were on hand from 1 to 3 this afternoon. We take this time now to honor one of our many 4-state heroes. Private First Class Worth Green Sr. served in the Army during World War II. His hometown, Baxter Springs. And we're proud to recognize Private First Class Worth Green Sr., tonight's 4-state hero. And of course, learn more about other heroes or nominate one of your own at any time. All you need to do is head over to KOAMNewsNow.com. Coming up, a search is underway for a gunman who opened fire at a Colorado church, killing a woman. A search is underway for a gunman who opened fire at a Colorado church, killing a woman. The shots were fired Friday night inside Iglesia Ferro de Luz Church in Aurora, while over a dozen people were attending an event. 2 men were wounded and a female parishioner died at the scene. Police are investigating a possible motive, saying it wasn't a random shooting and the gunman knew at least one of the victims. The 2 men who were shot are in their 40s and are expected to survive. Police have not released the names of the victims and are working to identify a suspect. A multiple victim shooting in Blacksburg, Virginia sent several people to hospitals and a fright throughout the Virginia Tech University campus. Police responded to shots fired at the Melody Hookah Lounge in downtown Blacksburg late Friday night. 1 person died and 4 others were injured, one of whom was a Virginia Tech student. Multiple victims were transported to local hospitals. Virginia Tech University, the nearby scene of an April 2007 mass shooting which saw 32 people killed and 17 wounded, sent out secure-in-place alerts for students and staff. Law enforcement officials haven't commented on what led to the shooting. A fire at a soon-to-be-renovated hotel in El Paso, Texas, ruined a treasured location. The upper floors of the DeSoto Hotel in downtown El Paso collapsed and were destroyed by fire on Friday. About 24 units and 70 firefighters struggled to contain flames coming out of the windows on the top floor. The hotel wasn't occupied at the time of the fire. No injuries are being reported. The building is considered an historic location. City leaders and developers were planning to renovate it through tax incentives and pledges. Laser strikes against aircraft jumped dramatically in the U.S., posing a danger in the skies. Pilots reported over 9,700 incidents of lasers aimed at their planes or helicopters last year. It's a record-breaking 41% jump over 2020. Federal Aviation Administration says it handed out $120,000 in fines for laser strikes in 2021. The number of laser incidents has been rising nearly every year since 2009. Officials say the problem is exacerbated by the availability of cheaper and more powerful laser pointers. It's back to bottoms up again for one type of spirit sales after bottoming out during the coronavirus pandemic. Sales of premium whiskeys are starting to return from the problematic fall off during the COVID pandemic. Purchases of whiskey such as bourbon, Tennessee whiskey, and rye rose more than 15% in 2021. The Distilled Spirits Council of the U.S. says consumers are trading up to higher brands, helped by reopening of restaurants and bars. Restaurants and bars also shifted some towards to-go options for spirits, which also helped sales. Delta Airlines is asking the Justice Department to place unruly travelers who've been convicted of a crime stemming from their behavior on a national no-fly list. The request represents the latest effort by the airline to reduce the number of aggressive passengers, a phenomenon that's increased during the pandemic. Delta CEO Ed Bastain says while such incidents are rare, a no-fly list will help prevent future trouble. He also says it could serve as a strong symbol of the consequences of not complying with a crew member's instructions. The FAA received almost 6,000 reports of unruly travelers last year, a new record. Most of the incidents were set off by disputes over wearing masks. Several companies in Europe that transport oil and store it have been hit with cyber attacks. Businesses in Germany, Belgium, and the Netherlands have had their computer systems disrupted. A company in Belgium says every port it runs in Europe and in Africa was affected. Experts say not to assume the attacks were coordinated. Investigators are trying to track down the party or parties responsible. Later on the KOAM News at 10, if you're looking for some extra money on Super Bowl weekend, we'll tell you about an app for that.
But first, we're turning cold again for tonight. Fortunately, warmer temperatures for the coming week. We'll see how high the thermostat will go when we come back. We have thankfully not only gotten more sunshine back into play for today, but a southerly wind back in action certainly helped us out with temperatures. And that certainly is made for a pretty good day to melt off more snow. Still a little bit on the ground from our live view of indigo sky outside of Seneca, Missouri, but this view, like it did yesterday, has kept pretty quiet throughout not just the outskirts of Seneca, but across the entire region. Now those temperatures, proof's in the pudding here. Upper 20s to near 30 the other day for the afternoon, still with a lot of sun. The sun can do a lot in terms of melting off the snow that we picked up throughout the middle of the week. Lower to middle teens rather this morning, and then back above 40 across many parts of the area for this afternoon. That certainly helped things out. And those are numbers that are going to stick around once again for tomorrow as we wrap up this weekend. For the time being, though, roads, the main roads at least look good at 7th and Range Line. Clear skies up top, 35 degrees with the south wind at 13. Starting to pull in a little bit more moisture. You can see the dew point rising up to 22 and the humidity at 59%. That gives you an idea, though, those dew points about where temperatures were ultimately will they want to go. But still got a ways to go before we hit our lows in the lower to middle 20s for tomorrow morning. Right now, though, most of us between 32 and 35 degrees. It's been kind of a slow drop off throughout much of this evening because of the south wind. Still kind of up there. Earlier today, though, it was about 10 to 20 miles per hour, but it's still up there at about 5 to 15. Still, once the breeze really lightens up, as we drop back into the lower to middle 20s, any spots with some snow on the ground that can certainly lead to some patchy fog under otherwise mostly clear skies, which we've seen plenty of all day long. A frontal system to the north doesn't really affect us going into the forecast, but the high pressure over Jackson, Mississippi, that's keeping the south wind in place for tonight and going into tomorrow. And in the upper levels, there's one upper wave working across the northern plains that might come into play tomorrow, and a couple others that I'm watching as we go into the start of next week. In the short term, though, we can just breeze through the future track here. Mostly clear skies, even though the future track isn't picking up on it. Any snow still on the ground can't rule out, resulting in some patchy fog. Otherwise, you can see how we drop back around 24 across much of the area, including downtown Joplin. And that passing wave to the north in the upper levels could bring some partly to mostly sunny skies for tomorrow. But still, that doesn't change the fact that we'll be back above freezing once we get past our cold start at 24. 36 by noon, highs near 40. Our south wind becomes more westerly in the afternoon and lighter at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. Let's say partly cloudy skies tomorrow night, maybe some patchy fog again Monday morning, and then back into the mid-40s with mostly sunny skies back in action for Monday. As we go throughout the rest of the week, the northwest flow of the jet stream is parked on top of the region. One wave by Tuesday and Wednesday brings some cloud cover our way, but doesn't stop us from hitting the 50s for Wednesday. Quiet for Thursday and even Friday, but then sticking with Doug's pattern. I want to watch this system by next weekend. That'll come out of Canada and pass mainly to the north, but strong enough that it wants to bring some rain chances our way Saturday, and depending on how temperatures play out, that could end up some snow showers rather Saturday night and into that following Sunday morning. But plenty of dry time, well deserved after our last storm system for much of next week, including tomorrow with highs near 40, 44 Monday, 53 Tuesday, pushing 56 on Wednesday, and even close to 60 by Friday.
I am certainly looking forward to these temperatures, and I know the roads are looking forward to these temperatures as well.
I know the main roads are okay. The side roads still have some ways to go, but Mother Nature will certainly do her part in clearing that up.
All right, Nick, thank you so much. College Heights has earned a spot in the Warrior Classic Championship. By the way, we're turning to sports to tell you about this.
That's me, sports. They hit the floor tonight, College Heights against Providence. We've got those highlights from the title game. Plus, the Southern women are back in action for the first time in a week, aiming to keep up their winning ways against UCM. The Warrior Classic wraps up this evening with College Heights playing for the championship on the boys' side. The Cougars are 17-3 and ranked 5th in Class 2. College Heights hits the floor against Providence. First points of the game for the Cougars. Miller Long knocks it down from behind the arc. Team high 18, and he's the tournament MVP. Then Curtis Davenport takes the pass, tries once, tries again, gets the tip in. In the final seconds of the first, he finishes with 12. Cougars up 3 after 1, extending their lead here. Long to Ethan Adele for 3, and a few plays later, Ethan Meeks finds Long, bucket and foul, 3-point play, pushes the lead to 9. The College Heights closes it out 57-51 to win the Warrior Classic. In the girls' title game, Lamar falls 64-52 for a second-place finish. Marcy Miller scores a team-high 14 points, and Xavier Wiss adds 13. Over in Kansas, big SEK matchup today. 2 of the best going head-to-head today as Labette hosts Parsons. Labette is ranked 5th in 4A with a 10-3 record. Parsons has just 1 more loss. In the first, Shelby Wilson, far side, drains the 3, 14 points for her tonight. Then the pass to the top of the key, Madison Brannon sinks the triple. Team high 21 for Brannon, 32-22 Labette at the break. To the third now, passing it around, Anna Dean shows her range for 3. Big third quarter for her. She finishes with 10. The final quarter of play now, long pass to Brannon, all alone down low. Labette gets the win over Parsons on their home floor, 59-43. The Missouri Southern women are riding a 7-game win streak heading into their road trip. Southern hits the floor against Central Missouri. The Lions lost the first matchup back in December. Today, early in the first, Lacey Stokes drives the lane, gets the bucket. Stokes had 10 in the first half. Then Amaya Johns on the baseline gets the reverse to fall. Missouri Southern up by 5. A few plays later, Stokes gives to Johns. She pulls up for 3. Then Stokes in transition finds Lane Skiles in the left corner. Back-to-back threes for Southern. Lions lead by 11 after 1. It's a good first quarter. To the second now, another 3-ball for Johns. She finishes with 16 points. The Lions lead at the break. Later, extending that lead, Amaya Johns again, another triple. That makes it a 10-point Southern lead. In the fourth, Stokes around the left side gets the mid-range to fall. She has a team-high 25. Less than a minute to play, Jenny's within 3, but Stokes with the steal takes it all the way for 2. Missouri Southern holds off the Jennies for an 8th straight win, 66-61. The men aim to bounce back after a loss to 4th-ranked Northwest. 7 minutes into this one, RJ Smith feeds Avery Taggart down low for the finish off the glass. Lions take a 1-point lead. A couple minutes later, Lions sharing the ball. Stan Scott dishes it to Taggart in the corner, knocks it down for 3. Taggart finished with 14 points. Then Alex Jones gives to Christian Bundy in the paint. He puts it in. Bundy had 12 points, Lions up by 4, and right before the half, Winston Desiso drains the catch and shoot 3 at the buzzer. Southern going into half up by 3. It stays close in the second though. RJ Smith pulls up for 3. Smith had a double-double tonight, 13 points and 10 boards. Southern up 1 with 8 to go. Under 2 minutes left, Jacor Nelson gets the tough finish plus the foul. Southern loses a heartbreaker 75-74. The Pitt State women at Lincoln today, they sweep the season series against the Blue Tigers, winning 75-55. Tristan Gegg led the way with 15 points, and freshman Sydney Holmes records a double-double with 12 points and 10 rebounds. The men fall to Lincoln 98-87. The Gorillas are led by Cameron Hufner and Quentin Hardrick, each scoring 22 points. That's a look at sports. We're back right after this.
Are you looking for a gig Super Bowl Sunday? Well, this one is offering a pretty significant payday. The Game Day, an online entertainment network focuses on sports betting, is looking for someone to watch the game and detail everything that takes place from the game itself to the halftime show to the commercials. The Super Bowl analyst could earn up to $2,022 by answering questions through the game. Each correct answer pays pays $135. You got to be 21 years of older and, of course, be a U.S. citizen. Nick Kelly, very quick check of that forecast.
Back in the 20s tonight, but we'll go back near 40. The thaw will continue in the Soul of the Melt tomorrow.
Looking forward to it. Thank you so much. That's our time for now, and thanks for making us part of your night.